A&C Podcast. Hosted by AC Divine and ECW original Chili Willy.
That's awesome. You can't beat that. Now, what about any other high profile pro wrestlers, current wrestlers, or either former wrestlers that you have represented?
Mm-hmm.
I have helped so many people with more on the business side of things than necessarily litigation. Some high profile cases I'm working on right now. I represent Adam Birch, aka Joey Mercury, against Ring of Honor and Sinclair Broadcasting. Also Kelly Klein against Ring of Honor and Sinclair Broadcasting right now. Those cases are going on in arbitrations in the state of Maryland right now, challenging, among other things, the independent contractor designation that you see in all wrestling talent contracts, whether it's WWE, AEW, Impact, or whomever. And those cases are just in their infancy. We're just getting them kicked off and going at the moment. But I love those people. I love Adam and Kelly both. And I really think that we have a chance to shake up the wrestling industry with those two lawsuits. I wish they were in court instead of arbitrations, because unfortunately that's one of the disadvantages of that, is that you end up in something that's not court, where everything is made public and it's before public, and instead you're before a panel of arbitrators. But that's one that's going on right now, and like I said, I'm investigating some others that I can't release right now. Everything from medical malpractice to a royalties issue with one of the really big wrestling companies. And next time I come on your show, AC, I will have some more law-related cases to talk about. But I mean, I have clients from the Rock and Roll Express to Nick Aldis to Adam Pierce. Lots and lots of wrestling related figures that are my clients. Kevin Sullivan is a client of mine, and I don't think Kevin would mind me saying this, because as you know, every so often some crackpot will put out there some conspiracy theory that Kevin had something to do with the Chris Benoit murder.
Yeah, I heard about
and it really upsets Kevin. There's no truth to that whatsoever. But every, I would say, couple or few months, I'm forced to deal with that situation on Kevin's behalf. And Kevin has gotten to be a dear friend of mine, and it's my pleasure to represent him. So I seem like I'm forevermore sending out cease and desist letters, whether it's on behalf of Kevin, with T-shirts, or Jim with some kind of merch, just all kinds of stuff like that. But it's a lot of fun, and it adds a lot of fun. I have a really great law practice. I'm really blessed with great work and great clients and a great work team, a law partner who is just brilliant.
That's awesome.
And our entire team of staff. But then, in addition to that, I get to feel this rush of excitement from my youth. I was 10 years old the very first time that first wrestling match I ever watched. And it's so much fun when I get to do this stuff,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I want to say, first of all, when you see Joey Mercury, tell him Chili Willy said hello.
I sure will.
I haven't seen him in years. We wrestled in ECW together. But speaking about the what you just mentioned about Kevin Sullivan, I read something online, and I was down in OVW with the likes of Bobby Lashley, Ken Anderson, and Daniel Puder. the MMA guy.
Yeah.
And I think he's now he's a sheriff now. But it's funny you mentioned that because I just read this like maybe last week online that he mentioned that there's like because he's a sheriff now somewhere in Nevada, but he mentioned something about how there's like a conspiracy that maybe, I'm not saying he said that, but thinks or somewhere along the lines that Kevin has something to do with that, with in a roundabout way, because Kevin was so much in love with the lady there, woman, what's her name? So
Yeah.
that's weird that came out, that you just said that, because I was just reading about that online. I was like, wow, he said that, so
Right.
there's a lot of people.
Often, every so often people will float that conspiracy theory out there.
Mm-hmm.
And, there are a lot of misconceptions with that whole story. And I really wish that Kevin elected not to appear on the Dark Side of the Ring episode. And
wow.
in retrospect, I really wish that Kevin had gone on the Dark Side of the Ring episode about Benoit, because it would have been his chance to, really, I feel like, given his side of the story.
Right.
Now, he didn't approach me about his side of the story until later, but first off, everybody thinks Kevin booked his own divorce. He did not. He and Nancy were already split when she started traveling with Benoit, and they were looking for her to be Benoit's valet or the Four Horsemen's valet.
Yeah.
And they were already split. But then, this happens like some 6, 7, 8 years after Nancy and Kevin divorced. And Kevin was, far away at the time that happened. And so not only does he have an alibi,
Right.
police in numerous jurisdictions have looked at his alibis, made sure that he had no life insurance on Nancy. There was no other motive for this. There was nobody else involved in that besides Chris Benoit. And the phone records have all been explored extensively. And so I guarantee you, if there had been any connection to Kevin Sullivan whatsoever, it would have come out long before now. I mean, this is not a Jimmy Snuka situation where,
Right.
there were rumblings of that for some 30 years or something.
Right.
And kind of with Snuka, it was always where there's smoke, there's fire. And, some journalists just kept after it. The Sullivan angle of the Benoit thing has been investigated and explored extensively, and Kevin cleared.
That's good. That's
insane.
But
Man,
you're
is.
exactly right, though, Chili Willie. It keeps coming up. You'll find somebody keeps digging or retreading. the story will come up over and over and over.
Yeah. I don't know why.
That's wild.
It's interesting because
go ahead. I'm sorry.
If something was there, it would be interesting,
Yeah.
Right.